In order to get to your goal weight, you got to get started, don't you? If it's always tomorrow or it's always next Monday, what kind of results are you going to get? Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. Today is episode number 332. Today's topic, day 1 of eating clean, my experience with it, and why getting through day 1 is so gosh darned important. Hello, welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. I am permanent weight loss coach JoLynn Braley. My specialty is focusing on the mindset. Why? Because what's between your ears is 92.8% of what is going to determine whether or not you ever get going, stay going, and get all the way to your goal weight. And then if you maintain that goal weight for life. 92.8% of this whole game of weight loss is about your mindset. If you don't have your head in the right place, it is nearly impossible, if not completely impossible, to change your eating habits. You can try to force yourself, you can get to a certain point, but if you're still down on yourself, if you're still engaged in negative self-talk, if you still believe that you don't deserve to look your best, or that it's too hard to lose weight, or that it's not fair that you have to change what you eat, and it appears that others don't, how are you ever going to succeed long term? Your mind and your body and your spirit, it's a complete system that if you bring it all together, if you get a weight loss mindset, then the part of the weight loss process that's 7.2% of it, which is healthy eating and exercise, that literally becomes struggle-free. Struggle-free means that you don't sabotage yourself anymore. You don't cheat on yourself. It's just not a big deal to live healthy and fit. Struggle-free does not mean that you can eat Twinkies all day and lose weight. Struggle-free means that once you get a weight loss mindset, then it's not a big deal to do the things that you need to do to live a healthy lifestyle so that you can get the weight off and you can keep it off. All right? So that is my whole specialty, is the weight loss mindset. I've been coaching amazing coaching clients since 2009. It's been quite a long time. I've never had a client fail. I coach them through my proven step-by-step system in the Inner Self Diet. And when I say I've never had a client fail, what I mean is that as long as they do the steps of the Inner Self Diet, my proven step-by-step system, as long as they do the steps, they are struggle-free with their eating and their weight within 8 weeks. So it's really, really amazing. It just shows the power of your mind. Once you get it on the right track, all right? And there's a way to do that. Traditional food diets don't do this for you. They give you the steps of, if it's a healthy food diet, they give you the steps of how to eat healthy, maybe some recipes, things like that. But if you never get your head in the right place, if you don't get your emotional state in the right place, which is dictated by what you're thinking, and some of it can also be dictated by the chemicals that you're putting into your body with all of that processed food. If you don't get your head and your emotional state in the right place, if you don't get a weight loss mindset, it's going to be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to get the weight off and keep it off. All right? It's just how it is. Your mind is the driving force of your success with your weight loss goals. All right? Hey, If you want to learn more about losing weight from the inside out, about making weight loss easy, fun, having more success with it, go over to www.easyfunweightloss.com, download my free download. See what you might learn from it. It's totally free. www.easyfunweightloss.com. Remember that if you want to stop binge eating, stop emotional eating, get to the bottom of this problem, get the weight off and keep it off, be able to live a healthy lifestyle, be normal with your eating, it's got to be an inside-out process. Mindset is 92.8% of it. With all of that being said, today, here on episode number 332, I'm excited to talk with you about day one of eating clean and my experience with it. Now, it might sound like this is the opposite, talking about eating clean and getting through a full day of eating clean. It's the opposite of what I just said for the past couple minutes, talking about a weight loss mindset. Well, it's not, because eating clean, living a healthy lifestyle is what you've got to do once you have a weight loss mindset. Okay? It's very, very important to understand that when I say do the inner self diet, do my proven step-by-step system so that you're struggle-free with your eating and your weight in 8 weeks or less, it's very important to understand that I'm not saying that you can just think positive and lose weight while you still continue to eat bags of Jolly Ranchers or pints of ice cream and big vats of pasta day in and day out. It doesn't work like that. Your body doesn't work like that. You're in complete denial and la-la land if you are looking for that. And by the way, I can speak like this because I've been there before. I've been in the denial. I've been in the la-la land. I've lied to myself, all this stuff. And what kind of results do you get on the scale? You don't get any unless you're seeing weight gain results. You can get that result. In the end, you've got to change your eating and your lifestyle. If you are serious about getting the extra weight off of your body, if you're serious about releasing the fat stores that are being stored up in and on your body, all right, you got to change how much you're eating. You got to make sure you're eating only when you're physically hungry. I strongly recommend getting off of all processed foods. The highly processed foods, they are filled with gunk, all kinds of chemicals, all kinds of preservatives, all kinds of artificial, highly salted, sugared. They definitely get you addicted, and they keep you wanting more and more and more and more and more. But let's go back to the results. What kind of results do you get on the scale? What happens? All right? If you want to lose weight and keep it off, and if you want to get that weight off as fast as possible while being healthy, then what I found, and what millions of others out there have found, if you eat whole foods, that means that you need to cook. That means that you need to plan and prep your meals in advance. It means that you're living a healthy lifestyle, which is not a big deal when you have a weight loss mindset. When you get off the processed foods, you're eating whole, healthy, clean foods, and you're eating them with, you got to have portion control. You've got to be eating only when you're physically hungry, okay? It's the fastest way to release the extra fat, the extra weight from your body. It just is. All of those processed, chemically laden, gunked up foods that can stay on the store shelf for months and months and months, sometimes years, they totally clog up your metabolism, clog up your system, slow you down, and pack on the pounds. All righty? So, day one of eating clean. today, episode number 332, this is part of a short series that I'm doing. If you go back to episode number 330, that topic, that was about eating clean to end binge eating. And then on episode 331, I talked about the first 3 days of eating clean and why that is the critical zone and why it's so important to get through those first 3 days of eating clean. And this means totally eating clean, no cheating on yourself, no adding in extra pie or cake or cookies, chips, whatever. All right? Just totally eating clean. So you can go back and listen to episodes 330 and 331 if you want to start at the beginning of this whole series. Today, I'm talking about my experience with day 1 of eating clean and why it's so important to get through it and the mindset problems that came up for me. And then tomorrow, I'm going to share with you about day 2. And then on episode 334, that will be day 3. And then I have a couple more episodes in this series after that. So day 1. All right. Day 1 can be difficult. Day 1 can be challenging. If you've got a weight loss mindset, it won't be that bad. But with a weight loss mindset, you still can have the physical feelings or the physical it depends on how long you've been eating junk food and processed foods, how long you have been eating unhealthy. All right? If you've been eating unhealthy for pretty much your whole life, like I used to in the past, on day 1 of eating clean, if you've got a weight loss mindset, you're going to get through it. But you're going to have some kind of withdrawal symptoms from all of that highly processed food, all of the high sodium, the high sugar, the high fructose corn syrup, the MSG, the preservatives, the additives, all of that stuff. You might feel tired. You might feel a little bit off. I don't know. It depends. For me, the main things that I've gone through on day 1 of eating clean are the mindset problems. All right? I don't have such a problem with the physical side of things. Speaking from the place of I could have another day 1 of eating clean if after this podcast, let's say, I were to go out and start eating processed foods again and go to the bakery section and go to the frozen food section and go to the chips section and go get some ice cream and start eating all that stuff again, the stuff that I used to eat. I could only do that for so long. It just doesn't feel good to me anymore. And then I would have another day 1 of eating clean. But it wouldn't be as bad for me on the physical side as it was in the past when that was how I ate all the time. I didn't know how to cook. I didn't cook. I just ate out of the freezer section mainly, very unhealthy eating. So if that's where you're coming from, if you have a history of eating highly processed foods, if you're just starting to learn how to cook, then you're probably going to have more physical withdrawal symptoms. But you've got to get through these first 3 days of eating clean in order to allow the majority of that stuff to process out of your body. Make sure that you're drinking a lot of water, clean water, plain water, water that does not have any sugar or additives or anything added, just plain water, plain clean water. 100 ounces a day is how much I drink. If you have not been eating mainly processed foods, but you don't have a weight loss mindset, or if you have been eating mainly processed foods and you don't have a weight loss mindset, you're still going to have these mindset problems more than likely. If you don't have a weight loss mindset, it's going to be super easy to start telling yourself that, hey, you know what? It's not a big deal if I just finish up this cherry cobbler that I made. Why don't I just finish eating that? I don't want to waste the money, and somebody should eat it. I should eat it. I know that I was going to start eating clean today, but I'll just get back to this tomorrow. All right? That is the kind of stuff that I've had the challenges with, that kind of thinking. If you give in to that, every day will still be tomorrow. Every day will still be tomorrow. It's not a big deal. I deserve to eat whatever I want. I've had a hard day. You know what? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares about what I eat? Nobody can see me anyway. I mean, they will when I leave the house and go to work, but who cares, right? I should be able to do whatever I want to do. Nobody can tell me what to eat. Yeah, nobody can tell you what to eat. But what kind of results do you want to have? Do you want to keep feeling bad in your own skin? Do you want to keep feeling sluggish? Do you want to get fit? Do you want to get healthy? Do you want to look your best in your jeans? Then you got to change what you're eating, how much you're eating, when you're eating. All right? You got to change. So the main thing for me that I've run into on day one of eating clean is this negative self-talk and the self-sabotaging talk, attempted self-sabotaging talk. It's not a self-sabotage as long as I don't act on it, but the self-sabotaging talk of, I'll just start this tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the day. Let's just finish up this bag of popcorn or this bag of chips or this bag of pretzels or whatever it is because I spent the money on it and I should just eat it. And then that day one of eating clean is totally shot. Well, it's not a big deal. Who cares? I deserve to eat what I want anyway. Maybe all of this is just too hard. Maybe I just can't do it. I'll start tomorrow. And then what's going to happen? Tomorrow, it'll be the same thing. Same thing. So, what do you do instead? You got to get through day one of eating clean. So, in order to get through day one of eating clean, you need to have planned it out the day before or several days before. You've got to have your meals and your snacks set up, your clean eating food, which means that you would have already cooked and prepped and planned ahead before day one. You got to stack the deck in your favor, do everything possible to make it as easy as possible for you to get through that first day. And then the next day, and then the next day. And I'm going to talk about my challenges I've had on day 2 and day 3 coming up on episode 333 and 334. But you got to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. Let's say that you've got 50 pounds that you want to drop, that you need to drop. Let's say that you're in the obese zone with your body fat percentage. But everything that I just said doesn't matter if you don't get through the first day. If you don't make it through the first day of eating clean, if you give in to your sabotaging self-talk that says, it's not a big deal, who cares? I'll just finish up this spaghetti so then I'm not wasting money. Or let's just head out to the grocery store because I'm hungry and I didn't prepare. And you know what? What does it matter? I feel like eating fried chicken and I'll just start tomorrow. I'll start over again tomorrow. Or you know what? Now it's Tuesday. I can't start over now. I've got to wait until next Monday. How many weeks does that train keep rolling? I've been on that train before, that train of self-sabotage. What results do you get on the scale? If you give in to that self-sabotaging self-talk, how are you going to make progress? Okay, so if you have a weight loss mindset, first of all, you probably won't even be thinking this negative self-talk. But if you are thinking any of these self-sabotaging things and you've got a weight loss mindset, then you've got the tools to turn that around. You're able to let that self-sabotaging self-talk go. Thanks for sharing. You're able to let it go. It doesn't get a grip on you. You're able to get through that first day of eating clean, and you're able to keep going day after day, meal after meal. Keep the train going, the train of success. Okay, get off of the train of self-sabotage and get onto the train of success. In my experience, I found that I've got to stick with eating clean meal after meal after meal after meal. After meal after meal. It's a consistency game. It's a game of consistency. I've had a lot of coaching clients over the years since I became a professional coach back in 2009 and have been coaching amazing women and a few cool men to a weight loss mindset in 8 weeks or less so that it was easy for them to stop emotional eating, stop binge eating, get the weight off, actually succeed with this project of weight loss. And actually, if you want to hear some of their stories, search in the JoLynn Braley show for the words real results. Those two words, real results. And you will find my special podcast series, Real Results from the Inner Self Diet, and you'll get to hear interviews that I've done with a few of my awesome weight loss coaching clients who I've coached over the years. Hear them tell you in their own words what happened for them in the Inner Self Diet. Hear them tell you in their own words how they felt and how they were thinking before they met me, before I coached them in the Inner Self Diet, and then hear them tell you in their own words what changed for them with their eating behaviors and their mindset in the Inner Self Diet. So once again, wherever you're listening to the JoLynn Braley show, search for the two words, real results, and then you'll be able to find that special podcast series. At the very, very least, my awesome coaching clients who graduated the Inner Self Diet should be able to give you a little bit of hope that you can change. All right? I highly suggest that you listen to them. Besides that, you've got to make it through the first full day of eating clean. No processed foods, none of those foods that are chemically bogged down with all of that extra sugar, fake sugar, tons of sodium, taste enhancers, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, preservatives, all that stuff that totally stops up and clogs up your metabolism. It affects how you think, it affects how you feel, and it just doesn't help you lose weight. It's a metabolism buster. It's not good. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that for your whole life you can never have a cookie. But if right now you're not able to eat one cookie without eating the whole box, then don't eat a cookie. Get through the first full day of eating clean and then move on to the second day, and then move on to the third day. You can't give in to those self-sabotaging thoughts on day one of, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow, it'll be better. It'll be easier. No, it won't. If it's not easier today, why will it be easier tomorrow? Today is day one. This is it. What's going to be different tomorrow? If you give in to your self-sabotaging self-talk on day one, then all you're doing is giving more strength and more power to your old habits. What's going to make it easier tomorrow? Why would it be easier tomorrow if you are not even getting through today? Does that make any sense? So, if you do have a weight loss mindset, it's not going to be that hard, but you'll still have the challenge of changing your eating habits. But if you've got the right coach in your corner, if you have support, if you have the tools to recognize that you've got self-sabotaging self-talk going on and you've got the tools to turn that self-talk around, then you can get through day one 100 times easier with that weight loss mindset, with that support, with that coach in your corner. All right? Does this make any sense at all? And does it make sense why you're only going to hurt yourself if you give in to your self-sabotaging self-talk on day one? Does this make sense? Because it's just simple how your body works. You can't keep eating the way that you've been eating and expect to get a change on the scale. Expect to get a change in how your jeans fit. Expect to get a change in what you look like, okay? In your energy level and how easy it is for you to go for a walk or walk up and down the stairs. You got to change. You got to make a change. Oh, you got to make a change. Oh, yeah. That's a song I just came up with on the fly. All right. Hey, if you actually want help, if you are fed up and frustrated with struggling all by yourself with your eating and your weight, if you can't stop binge eating, if you can't stop emotional eating, if you're plagued with obsessive thoughts of food, if you can't stop yourself from digging into the chips, if you can't stop yourself from buying all that stuff at the grocery store, you're standing there in the grocery store and you're telling yourself, oh yeah, I'm going to get this weight off, and then you're still buying all of those foods that you're addicted to. If you know you need help and you want help and you want to make a big, bold change, and it makes sense to you that you've got to change what's between your ears. Your mindset is 92.8% of this game. If you want to make it easier to get through day one of eating clean and day 2 and day 3 and make it through a full week of eating clean and make it through a full 2 weeks of eating clean and then keep going. If you want to finally get to your goal weight and stay there, and you know you've got to change your mindset, you know that this is a much bigger problem than just a food diet. If you want my help to do this, your first step is to go over to www.discovery-session.com, www.discovery-session.com, discovery-session.com. Enter your first name and email. On the next page, make sure that you complete the application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session with me. Let's see if we can get on the phone. See if I might be able to help you stop struggling with your eating and your weight. All right? But first, you've got to fill out that application. And before you can fill out the application for that completely complimentary weight loss discovery session, you've got to first go to www.discovery-session.com. That's where you start. I am going to share with you on episode number 333 my mindset challenges with day 2 of eating clean, and also how I have felt physically after getting through a full day 1 of eating clean. And then on episode 334, I'm going to share with you my challenges with day 3. Oh, before I go, remember what I've shared in some previous podcasts. One thing that you can do is, if you have a problem with night eating, and let's say you've gotten through the full day successfully of eating clean, but then you're sitting there at night and you've got that self-sabotaging self-talk going on, and you're telling yourself, oh, well, maybe if I just eat that bag of chips right now, it won't be that big of a deal, and I'll start again tomorrow. All right? Which, it's not going to work. It's not going to be easier. You're just going to stay on that train of self-sabotage, and you can stay on it endlessly. Instead, what you can do is you can use your procrastination in an opposite way. And instead of procrastinating on successful clean eating, why don't you procrastinate on your junk food eating and just tell yourself, if you are willing to promise yourself, and if you are willing to really do this, okay, it's only going to work if you do it. Promise yourself that if I just go to bed now and get through this full day of eating clean. I've already succeeded up until this point. Let's go to bed. Tomorrow morning, if I still want those chips or whatever it is that you're thinking about eating at night, if I really still want those, then I'm going to let myself eat them. Anytime I've done that, I don't want whatever it was in the morning that I wanted that night. Never wanted to have it in the morning. So you can take my little trick there if you'd like and see how that works for you. You could test it out. Again, if you do the proven steps to get a weight loss mindset and you go about losing weight from the inside out, which means you're working on your head to change your behaviors, change your eating behaviors so that you can start getting that weight off. That's what I do with my coaching clients in the Inner Self Diet. Like I said, if you want my help, you can fill out an application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session at www.discovery-session.com. Let's see if there's any way that I might be able to help you. Remember also, get some inspiration, hear what some of my coaching clients who I've interviewed over the years have to say. I put up a couple of their interviews here on my podcast. You can find them by searching for the words real results. Those two words, real results, search for those words in the JoLynn Braley Show. Just use the little search box in whatever application you're using to listen to the JoLynn Braley Show. Listen to what they have to say. See if you gain any hope. See if you gain any inspiration. See if you relate to any of those real people who, before they met me, they were in total struggle and they were just tired of fighting all by themselves. They wanted freedom. They wanted to stop fighting. They wanted freedom, and they got it. Thanks so much for tuning in today. What's your biggest aha that you got out of episode number 332 of the JoLynn Braley Show? Please be sure to leave me a rating and a review in the podcast application that you're listening to the JoLynn Braley Show on. I hope that you're listening in iTunes. If you give the show a 5-star rating, which I believe this is a 5-star show because I'm not just talking about a food diet. Anybody can talk about a food diet. Anybody can coach you in a food diet. How do you get a food diet to work if you don't do it? Why don't you do it? Because of your mindset, because of your negative self-talk, because of your self-sabotaging self-talk. All of the stuff going on in your head, believing that weight loss is too hard, that it's for other people and not for you. Okay, that's why you don't take action with the healthy food diet. Thanks again for tuning in today to the JoLynn Braley Show. I'm JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet, the diet that works if you do it, the diet that gives you the critical missing piece that you've been missing all these years, the piece that a food diet can't give you. The Inner Self Diet gives you a weight loss mindset, which is 92.8% of the challenge. And it literally makes weight loss struggle free. As always, I wish you your best life, living inside of your ideal body, feeling your best, looking your best, without apology. Never apologize for feeling good about yourself, for loving yourself in a healthy, positive way. Never apologize for taking care of yourself, taking care of your mind and your body in a healthy, positive way. If you don't do it for yourself, who will? Who can? Only you can.